Congratulations to the 2016 college and high school graduates who are out there. For those of you who went to college for audio engineering, or as they oftentimes call it, the recording arts, here is your factual wake-up call to the job market. I give credit to Sonic Scoop for their recent article, which I'll link to in the video description, for bringing this to my attention. First off, how much money should you expect to earn as an audio engineer in the United States of America? According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the median income is about $26 per hour, which is about $53,000 per year before taxes, also known as gross income. In the 10th percentile, right over here, the hourly wage is around $11, which is an annual wage of $22,500. Bear in mind, these figures are for salaried employees, not freelance workers, who tend to make more money but work less and oftentimes struggle to find work. So about how many jobs are there? Well, according to this figure, which is specifically about sound engineering technicians, whatever that means, there are about 14,000 jobs in the United States. That's not a lot. Not at all. Now, if you expand this figure, and I'm going to click on this other tab here, to what's called broadcast and sound engineering technicians, but that includes video, there are about 117,000 total jobs as of 2014. But the median income drops to $20 per hour, which is about $42,000 per year. Again, gross income. So what are the best areas to live in if you want to get a job within this industry? Here's the breakdown. The two biggest spots, the two hot spots, are New York City, right over here, and Los Angeles. In general, now this is based off of a non-scientific, non-expansive survey that the Sonic Scoop writer Justin Coletti did. And he found that live sound is where it's at. If you want to get in this industry, if you are about to go to school for this, or if you're in school, or even if you just graduated, your focus should be on live sound, period. Because recording with musicians in a traditional studio is on the way out. The jobs are decreasing. Now, of course, that doesn't mean you can't find a job doing this. It's just that your chances of getting employment in those areas are a lot less than live sound. And the reason I think that is because, number one, people steal music or they stream music, so they're not buying music like they used to, which means less money for record companies, less money for musicians, and that means less money for recording engineers. And of course, you have the other factor, which is huge and something that they don't want to tell you about, and that's that there are way more people making home studios. Bands make home studios. Pop artists make their own home studios. And that means less big studios. I just posted an article on Facebook a few weeks ago, actually a week ago. The New York City studio that was featured in the Foo Fighters documentary series, Sonic Highways, closed their doors. That's because New York City is so expensive. And that's another thing you gotta understand. Cost of living is an important factor in where you go. So between New York City and California, or really Los Angeles, the cost of living is about 20% less in Los Angeles than it is in New York City. New York City is expensive. But anyway, my point is, Los Angeles is where you want to go. I believe there's actually more jobs available in Los Angeles as well. So not only is the cost of living less, and that's not saying much, by the way, LA is expensive to live at. But between New York and California, you want to go with California. But again, live sound opportunities are where it's at, not in regular recording studios. But again, you can find jobs there. It's just that you're going to find a lot less. So if you're going to go to school for audio engineering, you should concentrate on live sound. And that doesn't just mean the mixing part of it or the miking up part of it. That also means setting up and breaking down the gear. This is one area that I think colleges fail students at, and it's that they don't understand how to set up this expensive stuff. They might know how to use it, but if you ask them to install a bunch of things, they're clueless. For whatever reason, like I said, I think a lot of it has to do with the schools. And you better believe if I ran a recording studio school, I would teach all the students not just how to use it, but how to install. And in the industry, they call it strike or tear apart, break down the gear and pack it up properly, because that's what you're doing in live sound. And I'll tell you, it's a tough industry, because a lot of times you're getting up 6 a.m. and you're tearing stuff down when you're when you should be sleeping. And that's why I'm not involved in it, because I think that type of lifestyle takes away years from your life, because of the stress it puts on your body and the stress they put on your mind. I think it's just outrageous, the schedule these guys keep. And my hat's off to them for being able to set up places and break them down in the same day and not die. Seriously. I guess maybe they take a nap in the middle, like around. I don't know how they do it. I really don't. It's incredible to see these huge concerts be put together in one day. I think, in my opinion, these guys deserve more money than they get a lot of times, but that's just me. Again, my hat's off to them. Lots and lots of respect to stage crew. So again, if you're thinking about getting into this crazy industry, you might want to think a little bit harder, because that's not a lot of jobs. That is not a lot of jobs. When you consider how many other jobs there are in other fields, wow. But again, that doesn't include freelancers. It doesn't include people who own their own equipment. And that's actually what I would recommend to people who are thinking about getting a job in this field, is that instead of spending $15,000, $20,000, $25,000, $30,000, to seriously consider starting your own business, hiring engineers who are looking for jobs. Just put a job ad on Craigslist that you're looking for audio engineers. They will tear down your email inbox like crazy, like vultures. I'm not saying it to be mean. I'm saying it to be funny, because it's the truth. So if you just open your own studio up at a commercial facility, and the biggest thing that I would recommend is get your studio a nice drum set, get your studio a couple guitar amps, including bass, and also a huge sound library for mixing rap. And because that's one of the biggest requests I get. Do you make beats, yo? No, I do not. I don't make beats, but I've heard that request from people, do you make beats? And no, I don't. And if I did, I would have more job prospects and more gig prospects, I guess is the better word to say. But like I said, beat these people at their game. Instead of paying all this money for a job you may or may not have, just make your own studio and get an engineer, and you'll learn from them. You might not, and that's the thing. You can just start this studio for $20,000, $30,000 and start making money. You don't make money when you're going to school. You lose money. You lose money when you go to school. So get yourself a nice engineer. Hey, hire me if you want it. Like I said, instead of just instead of going nuts and putting all that money into school, start your own studio, hire me and you can make some money, Because that's I always tell people, that's the one thing holding me back, is not having a commercial facility to do what I do. And I would just be destroying businesses if I did, because I'm really good at what I do. But, it's hard to sell your services from an apartment or from a house or from a condo. People don't take you seriously. But if you have a commercial location, and again, you have a few pieces of nice gear, people take you more seriously. And again, there's plenty of engineers waiting for work. So that's what I would recommend doing. Of course, if you're 17, 18 years old, you might think that's absolutely insane, and you might not be able to get a loan of that amount. And I hear you, man. I think it's absolutely ridiculous that they're willing to give people student loans, but not business loans for the same amount of money. But that's the government for you. That's the banks for you. Anyway, it's worth a shot. You never know. The banks may give you that money. I don't know. Maybe I should take a risk and get a business loan and open a commercial facility. Who knows? But again, that industry is hurting. More than anything, I would get into doing live sound, because you might be able to steal music, but you can't steal a concert ticket. And if you try to sneak into a concert, unless it's Woodstock, your ass is getting bounced. This has been Adam for RealHomeRecording.com. Again, check the description for links to this and to the Sonic Scoop article.